talk specifically about Wonderla, and that stock is seeing a bit of momentum today. It's up about 1% and it has reported a strong second quarter. Total income grew almost 26% to come in over 43 crores. Profit grew a whopping 86% to 12 crores from 6.4 odd crores. I'm being joined by Arun Chittilappilly, the MD and CEO at Wonderla Holidays, to very quickly run us through how this quarter has been. Arun, pleasure chatting with you as always here at Bloomberg TV India. I want to start with getting one or two highlights from you in terms of how this quarter has been. What has largely led to that movement upwards in your numbers?
Basically it has been led by footfall growth. We've seen an uptick in our footfalls by roughly about almost 8%, and on top of that we had increased our ticket prices at the beginning of the year by almost 11 to 12%. So that these two factors have contributed to the growth in our revenues. The other main factor is our costs have not gone up as much. While our revenues grew by about 25%, our costs only grew by about 15%. So that also kind of expanded our margins. So these are two main factors that has helped us to improve our profitability for this quarter.
Arun, you're talking about a lower finance cost. What has that largely been on the back of?
The finance cost, we have paid some of our loans, and that has reduced our finance costs. We don't have too much debt on our books, but we do have small, maybe less than 20 crore kind of debt. So we have pre-closed some of that debt, and that has led to a lower finance cost.
Give me an update on your Hyderabad park. When we spoke last, you said that there could be an announcement in terms of when we could see that starting. What is the timeline for that? Do you have one? And how much of a margin bump up do you expect you will see once that becomes operational?
So we are confident of opening Hyderabad project by the first quarter of FY17, so which is next April. So as of now, we are working full steam towards that deadline, and we are reasonably confident that there will not be any significant delays. So if that happens, we will see the impact of that park in the next financial year. We are hoping to see a big revenue jump, and also we are hoping that in the first year that park will have a EBITDA margin closely about 30%, and a top line we are expecting from Hyderabad in our first year is roughly about 65 crores. So that will come on top of the growth, on top of all the growth that we can see from our existing projects. So next year is going to be pretty interesting.
You also have plans for expansion in Tamil Nadu. When is that likely to be operational, Arun, and what kind of investments are you looking at?
Our plans for Chennai, we want to open a park there by 2018. So that's the deadline we've kept ourselves. So we roughly have about 2.5 to 3 years to complete that project. Right now we are in the land acquisition stage. We hope to complete by beginning of next financial year, and then the major construction will start only once Hyderabad is fully operational and starts throwing revenue. So we will see some capex going to Chennai project from next financial year onwards. We hope to open this park by first half of 2018. So that's the broad plan for the company for the next 3 to 4 years.
Talk to me about how prices and ticket prices have panned out, and I'm asking specifically because we're in the midst of the festive season. Have you taken any increase there, and if so, how does that really compare on a Y-on-Y basis with last year's festive season?
We have taken annual price hikes usually starting April. This year we've taken a price hike of roughly about 12%. So that has been effective April onwards, and that is part of the reason that I've explained earlier that we've seen a higher ticket price for this quarter as well. That will continue for Q3 and Q4 as well. But on top of that, we've also had an impact of service tax for this year onwards, starting from June. So that is an added cost to the customer of roughly about 12 to 14%. But that is being challenged in the courts by the Association of Amusement Parks right now. So it's too early to say how that's going to pan out. We are hoping that we will get some respite.
We were in conversation with AdLabs just a few days ago, and they're talking about really the potential for the Indian market in terms of amusement parks. I want to get your comments on that. How large is the space right now? And I can only assume that it is very underserved. So from an industry point of view, how much of an expansion are you really looking at to tap the kind of demand?
Yeah, so I think the amusement park industry is very underrepresented in India. There are very few parks for such a large country and so many large cities. So there is a huge, opportunity, I think, in the country. But world over, amusement parks, are capital intensive, and in India, that problem makes it much bigger because people have less spending power. So I think the trick in India is to make sure that you don't. Your capex is managed very well, and so that you're operationally profitable and things like that. So that operational efficiency is what we as a company focus on a lot, and that's why you're seeing numbers like this. We hope to gradually be present in other larger cities going forward. So we are starting with Hyderabad and then Chennai, and then hopefully we'll make our way slowly to the north to the other larger cities in that area.
All right, Arun, appreciate much you taking the time to speak with us, and all the best then for that expansion plan. That's Wonderla. It's up 0.5%. Just to check on one of its largest peers from the listed space, that's AdLabs Entertainment, and we spoke with Kapil Bagla to also get a sense of what the demand scenario is looking like for amusement parks, the space that Wonderla is in. AdLabs Entertainment is up 1.14%, so 1.5% higher on that, and Wonderla is up 0.5%. And they're saying they're looking at aggressive expansion across the south of India, including Chennai and Hyderabad, and this will add to their presence in Bangalore as well as the Kochi. They've had a bit of a knock earlier this year, the peak summer holiday season of April, when they saw some staff strikes, and of course the unseasonal rains have had a bit of an impact in terms of the operations for Wonderla Holidays, but that is seeing a bit of momentum today. Let's talk about Inox Wind reporting